Welcome back to Tennis Town, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to go through a bit of a tennis news update, looking at who's hot and who's not going into the clay court season. So, who is running hot? Del Potro, in my opinion, definitely running hot this year, running into the clay court season. He won Acapulco and Indian Wells consecutively, one after the other. He beat a very hot running Federer in the final, who had just come off, obviously, his Australian Open victory, as well as his Rotterdam victory and reascension to the world #1 ranking. So for me, Delpo is looking fantastic. Federer is running rather cold now, I would say. Since making the final with Indian Wells, he lost in the second round after a first round bye, losing to Thanasi Kokkinakis. Actually, I played Thanasi's older brother back in juniors in Australia and beat him in straight sets. Honestly, Thanasi is a much better player than his older brother, that's for sure. And honestly, if he stays fit, I think he can really have a fantastic year and ascend into the top 50 within the next 18 months, I'd say. Federer, so now he's back down to #2 after that loss in Miami, because he won Indian Wells and Miami last year. Therefore, he was defending a lot of points, and basically, he could have gained it. He could have gained those points back by putting himself in the mix for the clay court season this year. But once again, he wants to sit out because Wimbledon is his main focus at this point of his career for this year. So there we go. We have it. Rafa Nadal back at world #1. Sloane Stephens, she took out Miami. I'd say she's back in form now, back in the top 10 as well. Sloane Stephens, she's an interesting one. I mean, she won the US Open last year and then had a terrible form running all the way up until Miami, and then she took out the tournament. So you just sort of never know with her. Ups and downs. Obviously, playing in the US for her is obviously better than playing elsewhere. That's your sort of home conditions. But in saying that, I hope she can put in some good performances now for the rest of the year, coming into the clay court season especially. Another player running hot is John Isner. He took out Miami over Zverev in the final. Honestly, John Isner played the tournament of his life. Played absolutely fantastic tennis throughout the entire tournament. Looked unstoppable. And even coming into that final against Zverev, you sort of just knew that Isner was going to probably beat him because of the way he was playing. It was just phenomenal, in phenomenal form. Now, I think, in my opinion, it's just about time for one of the young stars to step up here during this clay court season and, potentially take out a Grand Slam. A little sick of the big four over the last 15 years, just completely dominating everything. It's a great opportunity. We know Djokovic is out of form. He's, still not over his injury. Murray, Federer's sitting out the clay court season, and Nadal not 100%. Said it many times. Honestly, it's time for one of the youngsters, one of the next generation, to step up and take out a Grand Slam while they have that window of opportunity. And honestly, let's go back to Djokovic now. Some breaking news on him. We've got the coldest Djokovic that we've had for a while. He's completely out of form. We touched on it in the last video as well. But since then, he's also fired both Andre Agassi and Radek Stepanek in the matter of space of about a week, firing both of them. And now he's taking a short holiday before the clay court season. Now, it seems as though the split with Stepanek was pretty amicable, but the split from Agassi was rather, behind the scenes, I'd say a little controversial. Agassi said that they had bumped heads, and didn't always see eye to eye and found themselves agreeing to disagree more often than not. And Djokovic, in his statement on his website, basically just left, the last sentence of his statement to say, Agassi's no longer the coach. So, maybe a little bad blood between them that we don't know about. But let's wait and see how Djokovic goes. Hopefully he has a good holiday and get himself back. But to be honest, he's a long way off it, really. So here we go. It's a time of opportunity. Time for the youngsters to step up. So let me know in the comments section below who you think out of the young group, out of that next generation, has potential to really shake things up a little bit at Roland Garros. I like Dominic Thiem on the clay. I have to say, I like Dominic Thiem on the clay. I think he would be the front runner of that next generation. Let's see how we go, guys. Let me know. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Loving all your support. Guys, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so, and please like the video. It will help support my page very much so, and I appreciate all your support. Guys, we'll see you soon in another video. Cheers.